What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to part 2 of my rolling workbench build. Today I'm going to be focusing on the corner supports and the platform for the table saw. Let's get to it. Alright, so here's where I left off yesterday with basically just a rolling chassis. Today I'm going to be working on the corner supports, which are going to be 4x4s. So I'm going to be 3 4x4s in 3 of the corners. They're going to come up to a height of 35 inches. I want the overall height of the bench to be 36 inches. So there's going to be a 1-inch top on it. So those need to come up and be at a height of 35 inches. There's also going to be a 4th 4x4 in that corner. That's going to come up to help support the base for the table saw. It's going to be in that corner of the workbench. So let's get started on all that. Alright, so there you can see are 3 of my 4x4 corner posts. I didn't want to subject you guys to my struggles with my miter saw. And each post measures exactly 35 inches from the floor. So now the next step is going to be to notch out so that the 4x4 actually sits flush with the 2 2x4s in the corner. Let's get that done. Alright, so there you can see I have all 4 posts notched in to fit around the frame. They didn't turn out too bad for not having used a table saw in many years. But a couple of shims and they'll be nice and snug. There are a couple of gaps, so yeah, I do have to shim them. But like I said, I haven't used a table saw in a long time, so they didn't turn out too bad. So the next step is going to be working on the plywood box platform for the table saw right in that area. It's going to be a 3/4 inch piece on top with some 1/2 inch sides, and that's going to leave me some room underneath to add some drawers. And I'm going to recess the side in from the edge of the overall workbench. That's going to leave me a little recess place on the side to hang like maybe my miter square. Maybe, hopefully, I gotta build a sled for my table saw, so should hopefully give me some room to hang a small sled. Maybe the fence for the saw. Just stuff that I don't need to have in a drawer, stuff that I can just get to real quick. So that's the next step, is to work on that platform box for the table saw. So here you can kind of start to see what I have in mind for this workbench. I left the table saw mounted in this corner so that I can extend the extendable table if I need to cut some larger pieces. Also, the top of the table saw is going to sit flush with the work surface, with the surface of the workbench. That way, when the table saw is not in use, I can retract the blade and it'll just give me an increased table surface to work on. Also, going in behind the table saw, I got to cut a hole in that backboard behind the saw for the dust collection. It comes out about there. But I'm going to mount probably this area back here is probably going to be where the power is going to come in. There's going to be probably a shop vac and a dust collector bucket. We'll probably all mount behind there. So next I'm going to start working on drawers that are going to go underneath the table saw, and that's going to be for like saw blades, other miscellaneous stuff, whatever I need to. So I think they're going to be 14-inch deep drawers, and that'll give me a little bit of room behind them underneath the table saw to have some room for power, dust collection, whatever. Also, the reason I did things the way I did, see how I left the sidewall sitting above the base. That way I can run all my power along the bottom. I can run all my dust collection ducts, hopefully, down below, and that'll just make the upper areas more available to increase storage. So now I'm going to start working on the drawers. Alright, so now you can see I added a rear divider for behind the drawers. On the other side of that is going to be shop vac, power, dust collection, hopefully, once I get all that worked out. Again, like I said, I have no plans for any of this. So I'm just I'm winging it. But so I got the divider in. They're going to be 14-inch deep drawers. They're going to hopefully, once I get them built, sit flush with the face, with the front edge. You can see I used pocket screws to attach the rear divider. So now is time to start building the drawers. really know how much of that drawer front assembly footage you guys are going to get to see, since my battery died some point through the recording. But either way, it's simple enough, straightforward enough. I cut the 3 drawer fronts out of a single sheet of plywood just so the grain would all kind of line up. Just kind of felt like doing it that way. Next, I found the center point of the drawer front and I cut out a handhold, and then I used that one as a template to do the other 2. Next, I just kind of glued and nailed the fronts to the drawer with some 1 1/4 inch nails through the air nailer. I thought about using pocket screws, but I really just kind of wanted to get this done, and so I did it with the air nailer. And then I used shims during the assembly to kind of get everything centered and get the gaps all lined up and everything straight. And here's how it turned out. So here you can see that I made it so that the drawer fronts sit flush with the front of the workbench. Again, it was just no real reason. I just wanted it to look that way. And you can't really, I don't know how much you can really see of the wood grain there to see that it all lines up. I'll probably go back and fill the nail holes in, but it's a workbench. I'm not too concerned with aesthetics. I mean, I'm just kind of playing around and trying different things, but I'm really happy with the way they turned out. And just to show, these are full width drawer fronts, and everything operates. Whoops, stuff in the way. Operates real nice. And there you have it. There's part 2 of my movable workbench project. I think the next step is going to be working on the dust management system. I think, what was this, Letterkenny? I think once I get that done, then I'll actually be able to I'll be able to mount the table saw, and then I'll actually be able to use this workbench while I'm building the workbench. So thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified when new videos are uploaded, and I'll catch you on the next one.